Hey guys, so tonight I want to talk about something that I probably should have been talking about a year ago, and that's Stranger Things. So before I get started though, my friend told me last night that I am a late bandwagoner, I guess. I'll let you guys decide on this one. This has happened with two different shows. The first one was Game of Thrones, and then obviously Stranger Things being the second. So when Game of Thrones first came out, it was big and everything, and when the first season came out on DVD, I decided to rent it from the library. I think past I got past the first episode and I stopped after like halfway through the middle of two or halfway through the middle of three because like most people, I had no idea what the heck was going on. And I just kind of gave up on it. And then right before this season seven premiered this year, I think starting in April, I went through and I watched the entire series, and I ended up loving it. It took me a couple months there, but just to keep up with the trend, I guess I decided I was like, what the hell, let's do it. So I watched it, and now it's one of my favorite shows of all time. So the same thing kind of happened with Stranger Things now. So it premiered back in July of last year, and I had originally, I think, watched like half of the first episode, but for some reason I decided to stop. I can't remember why. I didn't hate it or anything, but I didn't come back to it until Sunday night, when I was like, okay, so season two is about to start. Maybe I should kind of catch up to this since I know everybody's going to be talking about this weekend. So I did, and I watched all eight episodes within 48 hours, all eight of them, just because I liked it so much. So it took me a little bit of time to get into it. I'm not gonna lie. First episode was good. It introduced the characters, set everything up. Winona Ryder, Matthew Modine, and the kids and everything. It was a little weird. Um, then episode two came out. It was better. It was definitely better. Then I watched episode three. Episode three is where it started to get a little bit. It started to pick up the pace a little bit, especially the end of it. The scene by the river. I'm not gonna spoil anything here in case you haven't seen it yet, which you definitely should. But basically, that whole scene was pretty sad, and it really got to me. And then the next morning, I watched episode four, and that's when the quality increased tremendously. I thought that was such an amazing episode. Probably the best or second best of these series so far. But it's just the show blew me away. Let's just put it that way. I watched five episodes yesterday, at the time that this video is posted, and I just couldn't stop. Let's be real here. I watched one on my lunch hour. I watched one like as soon as I got up in the morning, and then I came home and watched the last two like as soon as I got home. I was like, I need to finish this. I just need to. Um, and Man, it was such a good show. Sci-fi is pretty hit and miss with me. I like some stuff. I don't like some stuff. Like I hate Star Trek, love Star Wars. Sometimes the whole kind of like monster stuff, and I feel like a lot of things these days are going like, oh look, there's a monster all of a sudden or something like that. But this was not the case with that. I loved it. I thought it fit perfectly, mainly because of the kids. Um, I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of was it homages, sorry, homage to like Stephen King movies. The whole kids, like there's the scene on the train tracks that reminisced of Stand By Me. I know most of these were intentional as well. The big thing that got to me was Joyce trying to be obsessed with like the lights and everything and trying to communicate with her son through the lights. That reminded me a lot of the Dad in Close Encounters, which I saw in theaters this year. And I'm pretty sure that was entirely intentional, but it really just was like, holy crap, this is the same thing. It was really cool. Um, but the best part of it was the kids. I'm not gonna lie. Finn Wolfhard, I didn't even know he was in this show until after I saw it. I was like, everybody had told me he's like, oh yeah, that's the kid from Stranger Things, and I'm just like, I've never seen that. And everybody's like, well, why the hell haven't you watched that yet? Well, here we are. But he was great. Um, the little kid who plays Dustin, the names just pass me right now, but I liked him a lot. Um, And I think the breakout of the show is really Millie Bobby Brown. She was just incredible as Eleven. Such a great character. It was just everything about it. There's like the ET references, the just the whole mystery behind her and what was happening, trying to figure out what was going on, how she interacted with the kids and what she like the powers that she had. I loved everything about it. And then there's the police chief. He was pretty awesome. And it was kind of a mystery as to what was going on. Like I thought he was going to be like the evil dick at the beginning, but it turns out that he was the he figured everything out. He was on the kids' side and working with them. I didn't really expect that to happen, but I was blown away when it did. Um, Winona Ryder is good to see her again, playing the crazy mom, and I think that role fit her very well. And I know Sean Astin's actually going to be in this season, season two, so that'll be interesting. Kind of like a maybe a Goonies flashback essentially. But yeah, I mean the show was just it was really good. And I said if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest you watch it. If you have seen it, I hope you're watching it again this week just to catch up with season two, which premieres, I believe tomorrow at like midnight. Well, Friday at midnight essentially. Because it's definitely worth watching. I know, like I said, everybody's gonna be hyped about it this weekend. Probably like 80% of the population is gonna be finishing it probably Saturday. I intend to be one of those people, but it was just it was a great show. It's the way I like about Netflix shows is they're more like movies to me. They're just really long movies because the way that the especially this one, the way that the story was set up is it just felt like one really really long movie. It wasn't like the episodes played off of each other. Um, and it's not like a comedy where it's just like, okay, yeah, let's do this one day and then the next week we're going here. The Netflix style of being able to watch it at your own pace really pays off. Because I guess I don't know if it was first considered a miniseries, but that's what it felt like to me. It's just a miniseries that happened to get renewed because everybody loved it. And I can't wait to see this season, especially considering how the first one ended. Um, we want more 11. We want to find out what happened to Barb. We just want to see more of the characters here now that everything's happened. The one highlight of the show, the episode that I want to highlight is the bathtub episode. I think that's what it was actually called. The scene in the gym where they had the pool full of salt and 11 in there, like going into I believe was it the upside down is what they called it, and her just like finding Will and just that whole scene with him, the scene in the with the tree stump, um, Joyce and the police chief going into Hopper, going into the I guess let's just call it the rift. It was just really really cool, and I just love the show, and I'm gonna be watching it again soon. Probably once I finish season two, I might go back and watch season one again. Probably a couple months down the road. I don't want to overdo it with myself here because I've been saying that I was gonna go back and rewatch Game of Thrones, right after I finish season seven, but that didn't happen. So that's probably gonna be done next year, just so I can go through that again now that I fully understand everything. But either way, Stranger Things, watch it. You will not regret it. Amazing show, amazing characters, just so intense, action packed. I wanted more. I left the show wanting more, and I know everybody's just really hyped about it right now. And I will be watching that first episode probably the second that they put it out on Netflix on Friday. So check it out, you guys. Definitely worth watching, and hope you enjoy the video.